So, thank you. Good morning, family. Welcome to Chuncheon Morning Devotion. Today is Tuesday, March 12th. Let's begin by greeting our Heavenly Parent and true parents. Chuncheon, Chambumanamge, Kyungbae. Paro. Now for our family pledge in Korean, let's welcome Pastor Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조의 상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에 서는 효자, 국가에 서는 중심, 세계에 서는 성인, 천주에 서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 원권과 왕족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조의 상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 효통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 자녀국 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Pastor Milhan. Now for opening prayer, I'd like to invite Shivaji. Shivaji, could you please unmute and pray for us today? Thank you.
Thank you. Please join in prayer. Good morning, our most beloved Heavenly Parent and two parents. Thank you so much for giving us such wonderful opportunity. Our brothers and sisters, we all are gathering together to receive your holy words. Thank you for your blessing, Heavenly Parents. But only our preparation, is not enough, sometimes up and down. Please forgive us. We are trying our best every day. Please give more chances to raise up ourselves, because you already gave us the principle. You already show the way. Our responsibility to walk, to follow your principle. So we cannot complain. We don't have any option to complain about you. You have everything invested, your heart, your love, your words through parents. So that's why we have to walk way we have to really overcome all the obstacles and difficulties and challenges. So I really, really pray this time. So I always reflect myself or ourselves every time, every moment, how we living a life. We have to ask the question ourselves. And then we can find the answer. Heavenly parents, I don't want to really the determine or the any big commitment to you, but the only thing, only every day, at least one person, even your word, multiply your word. That's, if I do that one, that's the great. So I'm sorry, Heavenly Parent. This time I really pray all our loving brothers and sisters who are joined today to receive your words and who could not able to join. I really pray each and every one we could fully uh, welcome you, and then we can welcome spiritual world, all the good spirit and good ancestors. And this time we can create the spiritual and very holy environment. We can feel your love. We can really reflect ourselves together. Thank you so much once again. I report this prayer on behalf of my loving brothers and sisters. In my name, Shivaji. Aju.
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 Thank you, Shivaji.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, family. Now it's time for our Hunda K reading. We're reading from the Mother of Peace, our True Mother's Memoir, and we're up to episode 59. Pastor Milhan.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Shivaji-san. Your prayer. Do we have a volunteer reader this morning? It's a great chance. Shivaji. Right, here we go.
Good morning once again. The original beauty of Mother Nature. Our motorboat, which was basically a rowboat with an engine, noisily charged its way across the deep blue Paraguay River. Halfway across, one passenger suddenly stood up and the boat rocked wildly from side to side. The other passengers cried out, fearing the boat would capsize. Just as everyone settled back down, someone yelled, "Hey, what's that?" Before our eyes, a badgery looking fish jumped high out of the water and landed on the deck. There it flopped around in the hot sun, jerking its salmon-sized body and gnashing its dozen of razor-sharp teeth. The frightened passengers moved away from it, protecting their legs as the boatman calmly picked it up with a long stick and tossed it back in the river. It looked scary. What is it called? Someone asked. It is a dorado. He said, it's Spanish for golden. The dorado is one of the countless species of fish peculiar to the waters of Mato Grosso do Sul, one of the Midwestern states of Brazil. The Paraguay River, which forms the border between that part of Brazil and Paraguay, is abundant not only in such fish, but in every kind of living organism. In the region of South America that are near the equator, the weather is either a warm springtime or hot summer. Flowers are constantly in bloom and fruit is abundant for picking. It is pleasant land for human habitation in harmonious coexistence with animal and plant life. If paradise on earth is defined by having many different creatures living together in a lush green garden, Mato Grosso do Sul belongs in that paradise. Its vast territory is covered by virgin forest and wetlands. It is ideal for cultivating a farm or caring for an orchard. Enormous trees provide shelter and sustenance for many kinds of birds, insects, and animals. The rivers are clean and some of them are quite clear. There are more than 20 waterfalls, including the famous Iguazu Falls that thunders where Brazil meets Argentina. Even though it was South America's hottest season, in December of 1994, we brought our senior missionaries from around the world to experience a fishing workshop on Paraguay River. As the sun blazed on those days, local people would wade into the river and lie in the water to cool off, watching us curiously while we fished. As beautiful as the Pantanal was, on high to be careful at all times. We would take a boat up the river, dock it, and explore the countryside. Sometimes we could barely get through tangles of vines hanging down from enormous trees, and we would have to crawl on our bellies. We often would not return to the boat until midnight. We would rely on the steel cable stretched out through the forest to guide us back in the dark. When we rose before dawn every day to continue, we again would deal with sweltering heat and swarms of mosquitoes. It was a strenuous routine. My most difficult task was bathing. I would awkwardly put off a screen for privacy in the narrow boat, so I could wash myself with the murky river water. But in my heart, I welcome such primitive and natural conditions. Near the Mato Grosso do Sul town of Jardim, we built a headquarters for global education called the Headquarters for the Education of Ideal Families for the World Peace, and set up the New Hope Farm to establish a foundation to build God's nation. The local townsfolk told us that an old prophecy predicted that Jardim was where the Lord will come. The first time Father Moon and I went to Jardim was in late 1994, when we held our first leaders workshop there. In there, the training center was a run-down storehouse without even bathrooms or a kitchen. I cannot begin to describe how uncomfortable it was, but it was perfect for the experimental education we wanted to provide our leaders. It was a workshop of heart during which participants breathed the warm air and sweated without reserves as they read God's word in the early morning and feast in the midst of the unpolluted and pure original creation. Over the years, we developed that Jardim site into the lovely family retreat center. We invested in the New Hope farm that surrounded it. Ineffectionist missionaries and members from around the world moved there with the vision of restoring the Garden of Eden that God created at the beginning. We built our community in the Jardim with a school so that all these families from all over the world would be able to experience God's love while living in beautiful nature. We donated ambulance to the town, farmed and raised cattle, and improved the livelihoods of local people. In the late 1990s, thousands of our members from around the world spent 40 days in study, prayer, and recreation in the natural beauty of New Hope Farm outside of Jardim. The Pantanal, which Jardim borders, is the world's largest freshwater wetland area, lying on both sides of the Paraguay River. It is paradise on earth. Everything God created in the area has appearance of the original creation. I am deeply impressed with the thought that this is what the Garden of Eden must have looked like, with the fish and all these animals and plants living exactly as they always have. There are capybaras, crocodiles, wild pigs, and birds such as rays, all living freely in the wild. In the river, you find surubi and pacu, and of course, the piranhas that are dangerous, even more humans. Many species considered endangered live here, including jaguars, pumas, deers, wolves, otters, armadillos, and anteaters. There are also unique trees and cacti. It is the largest wetland in the world and is the UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is protected. Thus, it is a unique area in which to create an ideal village. An extraordinary natural environment such as this has its dangers, but at the same time, it could be a key reason for solving food shortage in the future. We started farming and created a fish farm with a view to improving the local people livelihoods. One of our ideas was to create a fish meal that could be supplied to boost people's nutrition in the poorer areas. We made plans to raise cattle on our ranch and supply beef to as many as 160 countries. To protect the natural landscape, we planted a great number of trees in the land alongside the Paraguay River. The second area in which we invested is called the Chaco. This remote area is part of the Grand Chaco region that covers parts of Bolivia, Paraguay, and Argentina. In 1999, we encouraged our members to develop a settlement there called the Puerto Leda project. If you cross the Paraguay River at Puerto Leda, moving from Paraguay to Brazil, you are only the couple of hours by four-wheel drive vehicle from Jardim. Puerto Leda was the most difficult place to live in the Chaco. Our Japanese brothers rolled up their sleeves and worked their hardest. In only the few years, they transformed the area into an ideal place where people and nature live in harmony, a place where anyone would enjoy living. They even built a swimming pool. It is a model ecological settlement, including water purification and fish farming, which was recognized by Paraguay's president, who personally visited the site. We prioritized these projects over building churches, but as the number of people who responded to our members' tireless devotion grew, our faith community also grew. I wept many times over the pain of people who led arduous lives under those spacious skies in Latin America. My heart was torn for the children who craved to learn to write but could not. In 1970s, when our missionaries from that area expressed how difficult it was to bring God's truth to people who struggle day to day to survive, all I could do was listen and silently pat their shoulders. We would pray together. We will return here on another day and build a land of happiness. Heavenly Father, please don't forget these people. In the 1990s, God opened the door and we began to fulfill those prayers. I'm sorry. When we arrived there, Porto Leda lacked every basic facility. The nearby village needed a school as well as a hospital, and they urgently needed to secure an economic foundation to overcome hunger. Our members all over the world, especially Japan, responded to our call and donated in support of the LEDA project. Nothing can change in the day, yet our members were comforted by the hope they saw in the eyes of the children, and by seeing changes emerge in the hearts of the youth. The new generation of Porto LEDA began to think we too can have a good life. We keep in mind the need to stop the steady destruction of the ecosystem. We know that in the name of economic development, we are losing the Amazon rainforest, overfishing, and the rapacious killing of valuable animals for monetary profit also are the serious problem. At the same time, more than 800 million people around the world regularly go hungry. Some South American countries have abundant stocks of the beef and wheat, yet they cannot prevent malnutrition. In the midst of our education and community building in the Latin America, we conduct plant animal research and how to best utilize the local resources while protecting nature. The wing of monarch butterflies span just a few inches, but they migrate 3,000 miles between Canada and Mexico every winter. No one taught them to do this. It is encoded in their nature. Human beings and the nature have an inseparable relationship. We can be enlightened about God's act of the creation and his mystical truth through nature, which represents him only when we live in it, invest in it, and study it. We can feel the infinite joy and love that God felt when he created the earth for us. When we do so we can live each day with a heart of love and gratitude. The land in which we can learn this truth is Latin America. Through family-oriented love, as one family under God, we can discover our original homeland in this land, God's gift nature. Thank you. Sorry for my mistake, sorry.
No, that's all right. Thank you, Shivaji. You did a good job. Thank you.
Baji. Yeah. Very exciting, beautiful reading. There's no place true parents have not touched. Do we have anyone who'd like to share reflection or Sebastian?
Well, I just want to second what you just said about Shivaji-san. Shivaji Bai, isn't that right? Shivaji Bai. And I believe it's not son, but Bai. But anyway, I'm so really grateful for your enthusiastic reading. And I think it's perfect. Especially after he was coughing, he was more determined to speak. And so wonderful to see my brother. And I am so really grateful for this particular reading. Our Sunday service theme was nature as teacher. That was our theme also. And just so amazing how two mothers, so hands-on, down to earth, and just like you said, Milhan, two parents touch everything. And I'm just so inspired, again, how practical fathers had to think about father teaching the seminary students in an academic environment how to make a fishing net. And just one idea and one thing, and then going out to the Hudson River Bay to catch the carp with their hands and get all dirty and all that. So one other thing that really struck me was the monarch butterfly story that True Mother mentions about them traveling 3,000 miles from Canada to Mexico. The reason was because my mother and sister came to visit in 1980 in New York, and to see my wife, my new betrothed. And then she stayed in the New Yorker hotel up on the 30th, somewhere up at the 30th floor. And then she said, it's just amazing. I just saw some most amazing thing. And it was her favorite butterfly, the monarch, was flying by her window. And it wasn't just one, it was that migration. It was like thousands and thousands flying past the New Yorker hotel.
Wow.
That's what it was at that moment. And she said, it's just incredible. And then I read to Mother's a story, or a reference here that the monarch butterflies make that migration. So every time, literally, when I see a butterfly, I think about my mother. And it's just such a beautiful passage to learning about God's creation and the mystical aspect of nature. And especially in our age where we can become more civilized, quote unquote, and more virtual. We don't want to touch anything. You don't want to be, getting infected by anything. This is just the opposite. True parents get us back into the dirt and the most difficult circumstances. And some of you went to Pantanal. I did not, and I regret that. I'd like to maybe go still, but it's just so wonderful what our two parents have given us, the education and now the account, the list of animals that Mother gives. I have never heard some of those names before, but she has experienced them. So anyway, I could go on and on when I get, and the final thing is Father said that he learned the divine principle, 80% of the divine principle he learned from nature. So it's like the best way to study divine principle is get your hand dirty and learn and study your backyard. Anyway, and fix things, and that's the way to go. Anyway, I'm so grateful to be joining this morning devotion this morning. God bless you. Thank you.
Yeah, just nature can be its own Chanshin One. All the original nature they have. And can you imagine, like, if we all were like the animals and that pureness, and we all were original nature human beings, how excited we would be about all the things God made. We have a cat in this house, and two cats. Emika just loves to play with the cat. Even the cat doesn't want to be near Emika. She's too wild. But just such joy. The monarch butterfly. But the other day, this is pretty deep, but in the divine principle, they refer to caterpillars, butterfly. That's the metaphor they use about spirit world, physical world. Right? Physical world, it's like caterpillar life, crawling around, eating as much as we can to prepare for to get as fat as we can to get into the next life. And that's kind of like we are. We're just consuming so much love and God's love. But metamorphosis, the caterpillar's body has all these digestive enzymes. It really destroys the body, completely destroys it. And then it transforms into this completely different, looks like a different animal. And that's, so is our spirit. Can be so different than maybe what we look like physically. But this analogy here of traveling 3,000 miles, it's how do they know where to go, right? How do they find this place, right? It's like these little, how is a program in this little tiny bug travel that far? And like it goes beyond reason. I think that's what spirit world's like. It's beyond reason. Somehow we all find each other on the other side through love, and what's hardwired into us is this longing heart to be reunited. That's spirit world. And unless we create that, that's why these rallies and all these things, as I understand, these are like little pillars of between time and space. These events that we did with true parents become these meeting points in spirit world. Like we can meet each other, even though beyond time and space, we can travel, to the vastness of space and spirit world to find each other because of our true parents. Still just like a bunch of butterflies just stuck, or just somehow know where to go. And so I find that really profound as well.
Maybe I may share something
Yes.
about Jardim. In 1999, I kind of motivated my family. I wanted to go. And we went there. And that was, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing, I was just going to speak of one experience that we had as a family. I think my children can never forget that. We went down the Paraguay River in a small boat, like True Mother is saying. It's long and it's kind of narrow. But, we had an experienced person that was leading the boat. And I didn't know what I was going to see, on that boat. But we went out for like maybe 40 minutes back and forth. It's a motored anyway, as True Mother was saying, it's motored, and what we saw is just toucan bird all over, butterfly all over, but most of all, we saw alligators all over. That's why I was kind of saying, but what are we doing here with all those alligators everywhere? Are we here to lose our life or what? They were all over. They were on the bank of the river. The river is not that large. On the bank of the river, both sides, and in the water. And the man in the boat said, "Don't worry. They have so many fish. They don't worry." Then they're really not looking for anything like they're full. Don't worry, they are not going after us. I was so scared, But we saw, in the span of 45 minutes, we saw 60 or more alligators, all right? And that was just amazing, I mean, as I say, mind-blowing. I never thought that we would see something like that. And toucan birds, in the trees, and other animals that I cannot, other flying bird that I don't know how to, to call, but butterflies, like in one of instance, True Father was saying that butterfly would come, or I heard someone testimony, butterfly would come on Father, land on Father. And we saw butterflies, not landing on people, but landing like on a tree, all over, like hundreds of butterflies. I mean, it's just amazing, Yeah, that's what I wanted to share. I think my children can never forget that, because Monica, my youngest daughter, she did get a fish. We were actually fishing in that boat, but no one got anything but my youngest daughter. It's why we were all overjoyed about that. The children were like 10, 11, 12 years old at that time. Yeah. I mean, that's an unforgettable experience for sure. And going, and we visited part of the land that True Parents purchased I mean, you cannot see. We could not see it was all to the horizon. It was just. I mean, yeah, it's hard to explain, but it's an amazing project. And at that same moment, the pioneers that were coming for Port, to build Porter later, resort, I mean, not resort, but project, they were just arriving at that time to Jardim to go and start their mission of building the project here. Thank you.
Oh.
Creating experiences for young people too. I know a lot of young people are drawn to Puerto Leda, and it's and it is similar to the Chuncheon for me. It's like this longing heart to go to an environment that's completely pristine, original. I feel like that's what God intended for us. The whole world was supposed to be a Chuncheon in that sense, right? Everything was supposed to be absolutely pure. Anywhere that's untouched by evil is a sacred place that you can go to. You feel God's love, and that's the point. Even last night we started the prayer vigil, and Ayumi was crying, and it's hard for her to describe why. She was just so moved. So she just feels God's love, and that's the goal of life. We're caterpillars. We are caterpillars, just eating and eating and eating God's love all day long, every day, even overnight. And we're practicing how to love and become mature people, and so nature and all these things for that purpose. Be inspired by animals and inspired by amazing people. This is it. Okay, thank you. Wednesday.
Well, thank you, everyone, for your sharing. And thank you, Shivaji, for your reading and for your prayer. Good job. All right, family, do we have any prayer requests today? Pastor Milhan had sent a message out yesterday about Keisetsu going to the emergency room. But very late last night, he posted on Messenger chat that they tested his blood and his lungs and everything, and doesn't seem to be an issue with those organs. He said for us not to worry about him, but of course we're going to worry about him. So we hope Keisetsu will be okay.
Yeah, he said he's okay. He said that he just needs to do some stretches or something.
Okay.
What do you say? It wasn't altered ultrasound. Blood test results were good. No internal problems with my bladder, liver. Just need to take some meds and stretch my abs. So he needs to take better care of himself in general.
Reverend Sebastian.
I was wondering if we could pray for our senior pastors tour to every community that's going to start this Thursday. So that will be successful. He really wants to do that and visit every community before the Korean event. So anyway, if you could maybe pray for that during this time. It's going to be
Naokimi, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's get ready for our residence prayer by starting with 3 Abuji Omnis.
Chuncheon residence prayer, Shijak Abaji Omoni 아버지, 어머니, 아버지, 어머니.
Let's pray.
Heavenly Parent, thank you so very much
Thank you,
for
God.
this
Good
for
morning
this
to parents.
Good morning, Heavenly Spirit. Good
Devotion.
morning,
morning.
Thank
parents.
you so
Thank
much.
Heavenly
For
Parent,
giving
and
us
morning.
today,
great
last night, this morning, Lord,
we
just
can
start
so
our
much
day.
gather
Thank you, Lord, for a brand new
and
day.
pray that we
this
pray that we
Lord,
can
for all the
to everybody.
challenges that we are experiencing. Everything
Parent and
come
to
within a day
everybody
just
physically.
complete in a way
Heavenly
that
Parent, that
can
we
and
can
is
pray
not relevant at the
God
time.
in
When you
bringing
think about what you can do for us,
and watch
that is
over
not
us and
relevant.
take care of us
Anything you
and
need
for
to
other long life with health
anything you have to do, dear
strength.
God. We glad
Heavenly
to so
Parent, and
important.
and to
Thank you
other
so much
long
for
life with
giving us
health
deeper
and
understanding
their strength,
of
Heavenly
you, dear God.
body
Giving us
health
deeper understanding
support
God. We be
mother,
a witnessing, dear God.
support
Always witness
mother
for the world.
and pray
Challenges that we
Always
always
we
face
love
challenges.
right, Father. We
challenge
want to this
That I
divine love. We want to
with
parent and
knowing you're
live that
always
divine
there.
love. We want to experience
Loving us, telling us what to
divine
do.
love. We want
Keeping
to
Heavenly Parent and
just
share that divine love. We want to unite with
always,
others.
always have something
and
for us.
the one who is
We just grateful.
Lord, pray for our
Thank you,
brothers
know
and
that you
sisters
are God. We're grateful to you
the Heavenly Parent and
for
pray
such a loving
that you be with us and help us at this
we can always call
be with
on.
us
We can always advice
and thank
the
you
word, your word to guide us so
you
deeply, dear
so much,
God.
Heavenly
Though we
Parent.
stand in the shadow, in the valley of death, we fear no evil.
Guide you
You
God
always with us, rod and your staff
and be with
uphold
everyone
us.
that
The presence of our
this
enemies,
morning.
we always our enemies
Your will on
will
earth
be
want us
our enemies
to
will wait
the way of life.
to live strong, dear God.
Help
We stay
take
in
care of
line,
each
dear
other.
God.
Help us
And who we are as your children,
that
your
every
sons and daughters,
best
Shall
Rena, our GPA missionaries,
us,
give
dear
them
God.
help. Pray Heavenly
Any
Parent
come in the
to
trauma, dear
be with
God.
them missionaries.
Any experience in
Heavenly
mothers
Parent
who are
to
traumatized,
missionaries.
traumatized, God.
Heavenly Parent
And all your children cry out to your children on
pray for
today.
missionaries. I pray Heavenly Parent upon
God help us traumatized. Oh dear God. Oh, we should be grateful around us. Nothing but the sin.
everybody.
Still, if we do what you ask us to do, your word to be
We
kept
can
to
help
ourselves.
with everybody
And
in this
just
prayer.
have a wall
Good health,
everything.
strength at this
This morning,
of
this
the health
mother,
and give us
bed and
help
sleep,
us
let
help
them
us
know it,
pray
dear God.
more preparation
God,
support
God, we keep us
they have need
growing pains.
and
Ask
the medical help and take a role
Pastor
the Sunday
go forward because we have God in
pray
all
for
things.
America
God, He will guide
for
us.
America to stand up America to rule
Our
help
words,
this
dear
nation
God. That's
Heavenly
helping
Parent
us.
help us
Got our
everybody
got our young people.
content
Lift them up. Never
them they're the leaders of the world
finish. Lord, let them handle our task.
they're the leaders
Call
of the
them when we get up.
leaders
Finish,
of
God.
the Congress he could help my and I pray that he can do
Get him
pray
and say,
Pray for
and guide him,
So
okay?
much instruction.
Guide him,
Kind.
give him help.
And everything
Pray family, that he may prosper and
of humankind
pain and victory.
not able to break the environment, not able to stop
Father,
the creation problem.
pray, Father, over
Okay.
there now, Kimi,
The greatness of the work of your hands. The work
thank
is good.
you,
I'm here to do my will. Be rather near to God and things to do God.
receive and he may
Thank you.
have
Yeah.
great
Whatever is God's will is no problem.
fight for them.
So don't have a service really all like
That
personal
Jesus ongoing.
position. You
Providence,
should
praise.
really believe that because
Amazing
I'm
content.
serious. Whatever I can take responsibility on the shoulders
For the amazing providence that
to
is
the best
ongoing in this
of
year
something
of the
responsible.
beginning
The
pattern.
whole world is
We
created
know all the
to
shadows.
obey the laws of
Adieu. Now have Tansimga.
이모 미 주고 또 주고 일백번 고쳐주고 백골이 진도되게 넋이라도 잃고 없고 임형한 일변탄치 가실 줄이 쓰랴 임형한 일변탄치 가실 줄이 쓰랴.
Chanjian, Champomanamge, Kyangbe. Paro. Now we have 3 cheers of Ukmanse.
영구히 하옵신 하늘 부모님 억만세 전진 참부모님 억만세 victory for the Chanshman residents prayer 억만세.
Thank you, everyone. Do we have any announcements? Well, I'd like to invite everyone to come at night, to the evening. It's called Blue Dragon Evening Prayer Vigil. True Mother named it Blue Dragon, symbolizing blowing away the negative energy of the past. And officially starts at 9, but Pastor Millen opens up the Zoom at 8:30 if you want to meditate and pray. And it officially closes at 10, but we keep it open until 10:30 if you'd like to continue to pray. It's a little bit different than this format that we have here in the morning. It's more about reflections and testimonies and prayer. It's nice. So
really
I'd like to invite you.
Yeah, my family joined. Amy wanted to stay the whole time, so she did.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Emika do a full bow. Emika, a little more than 1 year old, did a full bow with a head to the floor and everything. So sweet.
She kind of dove on the floor. Yeah. She doesn't usually do it like that, but yesterday she did.
So are there any other announcements? Well, thank you everybody for coming. I hope you all have one thing. Tina mentioned in the chat. I know a lot of people don't even read the chats, but I don't usually read it either. But her husband, Freddie, his spiritual father is the president of the Leda Project. And he's coming to New York in a couple of weeks. So.
Also, Kathleen, is the link for that evening program, was that sent out?
It's here. It's the same
The
as
same
here.
one.
Oh, the same. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's us. It's
Okay.
it's us. District 2, it's us. It's not anywhere else. It's here. It's us.
Okay.
I'm starting to think I just leave this Zoom on all day. You can just tune in and not much going on here, but you can always just,
be in the Chuncheon one.
You're just a click away from the Chuncheon one.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I missed the all together gathering, and by the time I saw email, that was already too late. But then I opened and I prayed actually from 21 minutes after everything was over. But I did feel a lot of love, concern, and for central figure or the pastor and the team. How much thoughtfully, how well you deeply thought about the whole things. That's what I felt. That made me very grateful. I felt the deep consideration from church, and I prayed 21 minutes. The music was so good, and it's good. Even though nobody was there, I could feel that. So I felt very grateful.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, Pastor Milhan, he apologized for sending out the invitation late. He had a meeting yesterday with the leaders, and so unfortunately, a lot of people didn't see it. But hopefully, they'll see it today, and that's why we're announcing it here. Everybody's welcome. So, like I said, it's a different format than what we do here in Morning Devotion. And also, one thing that True Mother said for the evening prayer, it's the I don't know if I'm saying this right, but we're praying to the God of night, and she asked everyone to direct their prayers to True Father, which I felt was so moving. And like right now, we're praying with the God of day. So we're praying more to True Mother in the morning and to True Father in the evening. So that's kind of special. I have a little bit of a hard time with that because I haven't prayed to True Father in a long time. I've been praying to True Mother. So it's a whole different frame of mind. It's beautiful. So please come if you can. And
I was just wondering, and I'm really grateful you said it's kind of like show up, because I didn't realize I'm usually so busy in the evening, and to spend 2 hours or even an hour doing something else and trying to, I don't have time, but even showing up for 5 minutes seems like, or just saying, a short prayer inside the Chuncheon one. I'm grateful that you kind of made it flexible. So it's like, you have to be there for the whole time period. And
Right.
I can show up for a few minutes, So I'm grateful.
Definitely.
Thank you.
That's good. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. I hope you all have a very, very good day. God bless you. Thank you for coming, Tina. So bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye.
blessed day. Okay,
Have a
bye-bye.
nice day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Have a blessed one.
Recording stop.